From being pushed off a hotel balcony
Cambridge graduate Mark Blanco lies dying in the street as Pete Doherty runs off, followed by his minder, Johnny Headlock.
to being killed by a lover, Hollywood has its fair share of scary murders. Behind all the glitz and glamour, there can be a lot of pretty horrific downsides to a life of fame. From crazed fans, drug issues, domestic violence, and much more. Not even the wealthiest stars of Hollywood are immune from tragedy. In this video, we'll take a look at some popular performers who were violently murdered. But before we dive in, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Dorothy Stratton's tragic end.
And we have a look back now at Dorothy Stratton. She was the Playboy playmate murdered by her estranged husband.
Her story is a tragic tale that started over 4 decades ago. A young woman's rise to fame and her untimely demise at the hands of her estranged husband. Born and raised in Canada, Stratton worked at a Dairy Queen in Vancouver before catching the eye of Paul Schneider, a local pimp and small-time promoter. Schneider, described by many as predatory, saw potential in Stratton and convinced her to pose nude for Playboy submission photos. Despite being just a high school student at the time, Stratton's beauty and allure made her a standout candidate. After catching the attention of Playboy mogul Hugh Hefner, Stratton was crowned the 1980 Playmate of the Year, catapulting her into the spotlight. She received lucrative perks, including a $65,000 fur coat, a $26,000 Jaguar, and a $25,000 check. Additionally, she started landing roles in movies and television. However, behind the facade of success, Stratton's personal life was tumultuous. She married Schneider, although it's suggested she did so under pressure and felt indebted to him for her career advancement.
He pushed her to marry him. She, I don't think, really wanted to.
She felt that she owed him that, so she just kept hoping for the best.
She was the meal ticket, but he was afraid that he could lose her.
Their relationship was fraught with control and manipulation, with Schneider fearing he might lose her as her star continued to rise. As Stratton's career flourished, she became involved with acclaimed director Peter Bogdanovich, further complicating her relationship with Schneider. Eventually, Stratton decided to separate from him, driving to his house to discuss their situation. Tragically, she was murdered by Schneider, who shot her and then turned the gun on himself after an intense argument. Stratton's life and death have inspired numerous books and movies, including Bob Fosse's Star 80. Her story serves as a cautionary tale about the dark side of fame and the dangers of abusive relationships. Stephanie Mosley's untimely death.
Tragedy hits Hollywood. Stephanie Mosley, a beautiful actress and a dancer who worked on the VH1 show, hit the floor, and with J-Lo, Pharrell, Rihanna, amongst many others, to death at the hands of her rapper husband, who then killed himself.
Stephanie Mosley was tragically murdered in 2014 at the age of 30 by her rapper husband, Earl Hayes, in a murder-suicide. The murder-suicide was witnessed via FaceTime by boxing champ Floyd Mayweather Jr., who was in contact with Hayes at the time of the incident. Hayes shot Mosley and then himself in their high-end apartment complex, prompting SWAT to respond to the scene. Mosley was remembered fondly by friends and colleagues in Hollywood for her kindness and talent, having danced with artists like J-Lo, Janet Jackson, and Chris Brown. Despite the shocking event, there was surprise at Mayweather's public appearance at a Clippers game shortly after, given his close relationship with Hayes and the gravity of the situation. Mayweather later talked about what he heard while he was on the phone with Stephanie shortly before the murder.
So then, I said, "Why you calling me so early in the morning? How you know I'm up?" We was talking a little bit. He put Stephanie on the phone. I talked to her, and I could tell that they both were. It looked like they both were doing drugs and drinking real heavy. I could tell they'd been up all night.
He explained that the murders happened very quickly, before he could even process what was happening.
Then he reached down and put out a gun. I said, "Man, what are you doing with that gun?" He started shooting, then he shot her. And then he put the gun to his head. And that's what it was. Then I had to bury my best friend.
The entire ordeal left the Hollywood community reeling, prompting reflection on the complexities of relationships, mental health, and the devastating consequences of domestic violence. Stephanie Mosley's untimely death served as a poignant reminder of the importance of cherishing loved ones and raising awareness about the signs of abuse. Lana Clarkson's murder at the hands of Phil Spector.
Lana was always very independent. Even when, in that picture I showed you where she was 2 years old, she said, "Mom, I'm independent." And I remember asking her, "Well, what does independent mean?" And she put her hand on her hip and she goes, "It means I'd rather do it myself."
Lana Clarkson was a beautiful actress and model who rose to fame in the 1980s. Sadly, her life was ended in February of 2003 when she was just 40 years old. Her killer was the infamous Phil Spector, whom she had known for years. Phil Spector was a highly influential music producer renowned for his innovative production techniques and iconic contributions to the music industry. He earned widespread acclaim for his ability to craft unique sounds and arrangements that topped the charts and earned him numerous awards, including Grammy Awards and a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. During the peak of his career, Spector was celebrated for his groundbreaking work with artists such as the Beatles, Tina Turner, and the Righteous Brothers, as well as girl groups like the Ronettes. However, despite his professional success, Spector's personal life was marked by struggles with drug abuse and eccentric behavior, which led to his withdrawal from the music spotlight for several years. His reputation suffered as a result, and he largely faded from public view. In 2003, Spector made headlines once again when Lana was found dead inside his Southern California mansion. Spector was accused of her murder, with prosecutors alleging he had shot her. Spector's defense team argued that Clarkson had ended her own life and that she had kissed the gun before it went off. However, in 2009, Spector was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to prison. Despite his contributions to music, Spector's legacy became overshadowed by his murder conviction. The shocking death of Christina Grimmie.
Her tragic death at a concert venue in Orlando nearly a week ago was lost in the barrage of other violent headlines. Christina Grimmie, the rising young voice star, gunned down at a performance. New details now on those final moments that awful night, and new insights on how hard it is to keep performers safe.
Christina Grimmie, a talented young singer who gained recognition through her participation in the reality TV show The Voice and her YouTube channel, met a tragic end when she was shot and killed at a concert venue in Orlando in June of 2016. Just 22 years old at the time, Grimmie had shown immense promise in her music career, captivating audiences with her powerful voice and covers of popular songs. The events leading up to Grimmie's death unfolded during a meet and greet session with fans after her concert. Despite the jovial atmosphere of the gathering, chaos erupted when a man identified as Kevin Loibl approached Grimmie and opened fire at close range. In a display of incredible bravery, Grimmie's brother Mark intervened and tackled the gunman, likely preventing further casualties. Tragically, both Grimmie and Loibl sustained fatal injuries in the altercation. The motive behind Loibl's actions remains a mystery, despite ongoing investigations by authorities. Loibl, a 27-year-old from St. Petersburg, Florida, had traveled a significant distance to attend Grimmie's concert in Orlando, suggesting premeditation. Law enforcement officials have been scrutinizing Loibl's digital footprint, including his cell phone and computer, in search of clues that might shed light on his motivations. The incident has reignited discussions about the safety of performers and the challenges they face in maintaining a balance between accessibility to fans and personal security. While A-list celebrities like Madonna often have robust security measures in place, lesser-known artists like Grimmie may lack adequate protection, leaving them vulnerable to unforeseen dangers. Security experts emphasize the importance of implementing strict protocols to minimize risks, but they acknowledge that complete elimination of danger is impossible. Despite efforts to safeguard performers, tragic incidents like Grimmie's death serve as a sobering reminder of the unpredictable nature of fame and the need for enhanced security measures within the entertainment industry. The murder of Merlin Santana of The Cosby Show.
I gotta be honest with you. I was not 100% surprised when I heard Merlin had passed away.
We would lose Merlin Santana.
Yeah.
Merlin Santana's story is a tragic one that begins with his rise to fame as a talented actor in New York City. Born in 1976 to Dominican immigrant parents in the Washington Heights neighborhood of New York City, Santana showed early promise in acting. He started his career at the age of 3 when he impressed a talent scout during an audition for a national fast food ad campaign. From there, Santana's career steadily progressed, landing roles in various TV shows and films throughout the 1980s and 1990s. One of his most notable roles came when he was cast by Bill Cosby for a recurring role in the hit TV show, The Cosby Show. Santana played Stanley, a troubled youth who overcame academic problems to become a love interest for Rudy, one of the main characters. Santana's charm, talent, and versatility allowed him to continue booking roles in other TV shows like Getting By, Sister Sister, and Under One Roof, as well as films such as The Cabinet of Dr. Ramirez and Played, a hip-hop story. Despite his success in Hollywood, Santana remained connected to his roots in Washington Heights, a neighborhood plagued by gang activity. Santana's association with his old neighborhood and some of its inhabitants, particularly a group known as the Yellow Top Crew, may have put him in harm's way. Tragically, Santana's life was cut short on November 9, 2002, when he was fatally shot while sitting in a car in Los Angeles. The events leading up to his death unfolded after he spent the night drinking with a 15-year-old girl named Monique King, who had lied about her age. Santana and his friend Brandon Adams had picked up Monique and another friend, Shakita Harris, at a Jack in the Box restaurant. After spending the evening together, Monique called Santana and asked to come over. Santana agreed, and Monique arrived at a friend's house where Santana was staying. Later that night, while sitting in the car with Santana and Brandon, Monique made a phone call and led Santana and Brandon into a dangerous situation. Two men, one of whom was Damon Andre Gates, approached Santana's car and opened fire, fatally wounding Santana and injuring Brandon. It was later revealed that Monique had planned the attack by falsely claiming to be assaulted by Santana and his friends, leading Gates and his accomplice to seek revenge. Monique was tried and convicted of second-degree murder for her role in Santana's death. Gates was also convicted and sentenced to 70 years to life in prison. The tragedy shook Santana's family, friends, and fans, leaving behind a legacy of talent and promise that was cut far too short. Thomas Jefferson Byrd's murder in Atlanta.
Now the investigation continues into who killed a well-known actor in Southwest Atlanta. Thomas Jefferson Byrd was found dead on Saturday. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston spoke with close friends of the actor. They want to know who did this.
Thomas Jefferson Byrd, a Tony-nominated actor, was found shot dead in Southwest Atlanta on October 3rd of 2020. Byrd was known for his dynamic acting, dancing, and contributions to establishing Black theater.
I knew him as a dynamic actor, a dancer, creative person.
Actor Afemo Omalami has known Thomas Jefferson Byrd for at least 30 years, the two having worked together in both theater and film. Byrd was known for his role in Spike Lee films, as well as being an activist.
Close friends and colleagues expressed shock and disbelief over his death, emphasizing that Byrd didn't have enemies and wasn't involved in risky behavior. The Atlanta Police Department is actively investigating the homicide, following up on leads in the Southwest Atlanta neighborhood where Byrd was found. Friends and associates demanded justice for Byrd, emphasizing the need for a swift resolution in the case and closure for his family. On October 17th of 2020, just weeks after Byrd's death, a man named Antonio Demetrius Rines was arrested in connection to the murder. This was supposedly based on evidence and tips from the public, but very little information has been released about what this person's motive could have been or how he knew the actor. Which one of these tragic murders do you find the most shocking? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching Trapdoor Crime.